Hello, I'm Ronnie Eldridge. Welcome to Eldridge & Company. There's a simple and successful way for a woman to get her foot into the world of employment. She simply goes to the Bottomless Closet. Deloris Nobles, a prep cook, went there. Kendall Farrell, the executive director, works there. And Tami Peters volunteers there. It's such a sensible program, isn't it? Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
This is such a sensible, common sense program, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We think so.
And it was started basically, I used to be in the city council, so we would listen to the agency come up with proposals for programs, and then we would pass them. And then there'd be this big gap between the actual deployment of the program or, working it out. And that's what happened. Is that how this started?
It is. It basically was born out of the Welfare to Reform Act in the late 90s, and it was a group of volunteers that got together and saw the gap in services for women who were trying to transition back to the workforce from public assistance and looking for ways basically to support women in their transition to work.
And so they decided what? They needed help with, they'd go through a training program. Right. And I remember when it first started, I think I told you that I went to a program and I saw all these women sitting in a room, each with a Yellow Pages phone book, making phone calls, just making phone calls, not really knowing what to say,
right,
and not really having a resume, right? So you went there. Is that what happens?
Yes. I worked on a job for a period of time, like 10 years, and I was going to employment, and I was suggested, you go to a process, they make an appointment, and you also have an appointment for a job interview. So Bottomless Closet invite you in for a couple of suits for the interview to critique your resume, and you go through a couple of resume skills or how to interact to sell yourself to the employer.
You were working and then you lost your job?
Yes, I worked on a job for 10 years.
So when you said you went to the employment office, that was the unemployment office?
Yes.
And they made the referral?
Yes.
Aren't you lucky, huh?
This young lady that was helping me, and she had information about Bottomless Closet, and
That's
she
so
said,
great.
"Oh, I'm going to send you someplace to get some clothes." And I went defensive, which is saying I don't have clothes, but it was something that opened me to another world that I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
And I went there, and they were so loving, and they invited me in, and that workers are so helpful, and they know the position when you're there. You're like real badgered because you don't confused not to know what to expect.
How do you think they know? I mean, are they the volunteers are?
Well, I guess because so many women come in that position, and they're formerly from welfare and don't know how to fill out a resume or application, and the women that got together, the volunteer, understand that it could happen, and they understand that women need to be empowered for today's world.
It must be, Tami, it must be as informative for the volunteers who haven't been on welfare to see this other world, because a lot of them most likely never saw it before.
Absolutely. It certainly is an exchange of information. And actually, as part of the program at Bottomless Closet, we have a number of workshops. I actually created the financial series, to teach women about personal finance. Started with one seminar in 2001 and has grown to a 16-part series.
It's amazing. I have the book here. How did you get to Bottomless Closet?
I actually saw an ad in a magazine that said they were looking for volunteers. I was working in financial services. I said, what can I do? And they said, oh, can you teach a seminar on budgeting? So it started out as that, and it sort of morphed through the years. I basically solicited information from the clients saying, what do you want to hear about? In addition to what I thought women should know about their own financials.
So so you have this book. It's 14 sessions?
16, yes.
16 sessions. It's the most incredible thing. I went through it. And it should be published, actually. I mean, it's a great guide for, I know you don't want to give it up for other groups, but it's something
any publishers listening?
You should look for a grant. I mean, there are grants available for this kind of thing. It's really an important thing to have.
I think it was amazing to me, the number of people, even away from Bottomless Closet, who know that I volunteer, who've asked me, oh, can I take your handouts? And it's because, frankly, in school, most schools don't really teach about personal finance. So unless we are taught by our parents at home, most people have to educate themselves.
Do the volunteers take your program?
Good question. They do take some of the handouts from time to
Maybe
time.
you should have a class, they should come into the class.
That's a great idea.
Kendall, tell me about this organization, basically. What's your overview? How do you, it must be an incredible thing, matching the volunteers and the clients.
Absolutely.
And also watching these clients grow.
Yeah, ultimately it's our goal to promote self-sufficiency. So really however we can do that through the financial management workshop, through the clothing. The clothing is really the hook to get the women to come in. And as Deloris says, we have a number of referral agencies that refer women to the Bottomless Closet.
That's how they find it.
That's how they find us.
Do they have to be referred?
They do. So they have to be, they can, if a woman is interested in visiting the Bottomless Closet and is working with a referral agency, most likely they may already be a partner of Bottomless Closet. So they should inquire if there is a woman who is on public assistance or is economically disadvantaged and feeling like she would benefit from the services of Bottomless Closet. She can talk with somebody like Deloris did with her caseworker or counselor, and get a referral.
How do you find the agencies that are the referral agencies?
It's amazing. Well, we started off obviously with a small number 10 years ago when Bottomless Closet was started, but now it's grown to, we have something like 200 referral agencies that we get women from, and obviously the working group that we get referrals from is probably about 24. But again, it's so
when they decide to refer people, have they come to inspect your program and look at it? And
yeah, it's basically, it's again any job developer or city group, like you were saying that you went and visited the referral agencies.
They know about it.
Yeah, they know, and they can come to a referral orientation at Bottomless Closet and learn all about our programs and how they would go about referring women to the program.
What I love about the program is, I love all these programs that spring from people who see a need. Absolutely. And then they're able to really create the program.
Right, and that's the beauty of Bottomless Closet, is that it was founded by a group of volunteers, women who saw a gap there.
How did they see it, do you know?
I think that there's a Bottomless Closet in Chicago that we're not that closely affiliated with, but we in some way took a franchise exactly. Nice, right? And with permission, and started an organization here in New York City, but it was a small group of volunteers or women who basically wanted to help other women and saw that there was going to be a large group of women that had been on public assistance, had been on welfare, and were going to be forced back into the workforce and may not have the skills, may not have the clothing to make that successful. So really the goal was to ultimately get women through the doors to get the
So your clothes, as you said, are the hook. Rather the end product.
Exactly.
Right.
And really the goal is to build up a woman's self-esteem. Any woman knows that if you put on a nice outfit, it can really change the way you see yourself. And it's incredible to see the change in the women that come to Bottomless Closet. They, oftentimes women will walk through the doors and they're sitting in the waiting room and, they're sort of slumped over and they don't make eye contact or they may not shake your hand. And then really it's almost instantaneous. The second that the volunteer dresses them in a business suit for their interview, their posture changes, they have a light in their eye.
So your volunteer interviews them, but by this time they're dressed up.
Exactly. No, the first step is to get them dressed up.
The first step is to get the clothing and make sure that it fits you and that it's you. They take the time like you're really in Saks Fifth Avenue, right?
Fun,
no, this doesn't look right. No, let's try this. And they give you choices. Yeah. And then once you do that, you sit down and they take a picture so you can see the after effect, the before and after. And they also sit down and critique the resume, and they get an intimate sense of know what you want, how you, some of the things they ask you never even thought about, you understand?
Like what? Can you think of something?
What do you plan to do, do you have, are you planning on having a home or stuff like that, you know?
What do you see in the future?
What you see in the future. And sometimes you barely could see from one day to the next when you're in this slump. You understand? Because I was unemployed, and I didn't think my unemployment check was going to manage, but I maintained. All right. And after that, they give you a list of workshops. They invite you and say, oh, if you're not doing anything, we have these workshops. You are welcome to come. And then you was like, oh, really? And when you don't have a lot of, you have all this time and nothing to do. This was like the last house on the block for me to find something to do with my time and interact with women. And somewhere along the line, you build a relationship with some of these women because we have so much identification with the pain of trying to get to the next level. I never even thought about being debt-free. I thought I was always going to be in debt. And Tami like introduced ways of spending and why you spend. I never, because of a void of wanting to fill this void.
How did you, what was the debt? On a credit card?
Credit cards,
buying
different
things
stores,
on time?
Buying things on time that I know I didn't need, or some things I knew I needed and whatever. Just having this want to fill this void.
And you were getting unemployment insurance while you went here?
Yes, yes. And then my unemployment ran out and I started a job.
I think Deloris is too modest here. Over the 7 years, I've realized that the #1 goal for women is to become debt-free. And because of that, this year I funded actually a financial independence loan, which is for women who've been working very hard, conscientiously working on their financial goals, and who can become debt-free within 12 months. We offered a 1% loan. And so Deloris is one of the 2 first recipients of this loan, so she'll actually be completely debt-free before the end of the year. So don't be modest, Deloris. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
And you know, talking about self-esteem, I mean, I think it's huge when
such a relief
women feel
isn't it?
Empowered with financial knowledge, the self-esteem just goes through the roof. Absolutely.
The women who come in, do they have bank accounts?
It ranges from women who have a lot of money in their 401ks to women who've never opened up a checking account before. So it certainly covers the range. But
so let's just go through a little bit of the course because it fascinates me and I really would like to take it. The first session.
Come on in.
The first session is what?
So in January of each year, I ask the women to set up 3 financial goals. One being short term with something they can accomplish within 12 months. Medium term, and then longer term, more than 3 years, and specific steps on how to accomplish that. And as I mentioned, the #1 goal usually of all women is to become debt-free if they aren't already. And so they go through and set up the steps that they want to accomplish. Throughout the year, then each month along the way, we talk about budgeting. Deloris is a great budgeter now.
What do you spend most of your money on?
Now I spend, I save. I'm planning my retirement. I'm planning on my retirement so I could take care of myself.
Good.
You know, that's my plan.
Does rent take the biggest portion?
Well, I have a mortgage, so I pay that.
Oh, you have a mortgage.
Yes.
She's one of the 5 homeowners in the financial series.
Yes, I maintain that. So I also finance to a 6-point better rate on my mortgage. So I've learned some stuff, you know, and I could use.
That's so great.
So other things are improving your FICO score, understanding what your credit FICO score is.
What's the FICO score?
FICO score is a measure of how creditworthy you are according to creditors. So it's sort of the benchmark in the industry.
We might as well tell our viewers that they can get they can't get the FICO score, the new legislation and what you can get.
Every 12 months you are legally entitled to a free credit report from each of the 3 credit bureaus. So you can go directly to their websites and get free credit reports to review what information creditors have submitted.
So you help your clients get these?
So we help the clients get those in addition to their scores.
They see them?
Well, most people don't even understand what they are, so I try and explain what they are, the reason why you want to have a good one, because if you ever go for a mortgage, if you go for a loan, actually employers sometimes check for FICO scores, so certainly the higher the better. And then during the year we try and work on improving those FICO scores. We talk about investing. I explain what compound interest is and why it's a good thing when you're investing, but a bad thing if you have consumer debt. The steps to buying a home, the psychology of why people spend money.
So you feel more in control.
Yes, of my life.
Yeah, that's so great. Do you find that the largest cost in a person's life is the rent or not?
Most significantly, yeah, especially in the New York area, absolutely.
Yeah. And does everybody have a home that you see?
No, there's actually in our program, according to what people have reported to me, I know of 5 homeowners in the financial series, which is huge. Beyond that, everyone else is a renter at this point, but more to come.
So, Kendall, how many of the people that you have are going to be able to find? You don't really help them find the actual job.
Exactly. We work with them to prepare for the job. So, but ultimately our goal, like Deloris was saying, is to have women come back and participate in a series of workshops. So Tami's financial management series is one section of workshops that we have. We also have a whole professional development workshop series that includes workplace skills, business etiquette. So oftentimes many of our clients haven't been employed for, there may be a gap in their resume. So we talk about how to address that at an interview, improving women's interview skills, resume preparation, as Deloris has said. But then we like to go further and more in depth and talk about things such as how to prepare for a performance evaluation, or how to deal with a difficult boss or coworker. Things and skills, build some skills that women might not think about if they haven't been in the workforce, or business etiquette. Email etiquette is a big one. And then we go even further beyond that and have a personal enrichment part of our programming that, again, that Deloris participates in with the, we have a book club and theater outings and that
What
sort of
did you
thing.
read? What was the latest book you read?
Who Flew Over the Cuckoo?
Did you read the Iliad?
No, we didn't get to that one yet.
Did you? Did I see that?
Yes, there was actually last year, I believe, that they did a reading of the Iliad and then had a museum outing after.
Oh yes, we did. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
do that. We went to the museum on that, and they also have a workshop on health and beauty, how to take care and pamper yourself. You know, how to take care of your skin.
That's so great.
Yes.
So you've made a lot of friends, have you?
Yes, I have a few that we stay in touch on the
Yeah.
outside.
That's very. Now, how does somebody volunteer?
They can go to the website. They can call it Bottomless Closet. Basically, we have lots of different opportunities, not only during the daytime. So we see the new clients that come in, we see during the day, Monday through Thursday. But then there are evening opportunities for once women go out and get their jobs and want to come back to get additional outfits. Then
So
there are evening
suppose somebody
volunteers.
can't find a job.
That's
the
really
basic
where
underlying thing that everybody can find a job.
Right. No, I think that unfortunately it's not. And
Yeah.
really that's where we really encourage women to come back to Bottomless Closet to get additional training. We're actually starting a new program at Bottomless Closet called Coaching Plus, which will encourage women that haven't been able to find employment yet to come back. And really, it actually was mirrored off of Tami has a mentor-mentee program with finances, that we do that for women who haven't been able to find employment, so that a client would work one-on-one with a volunteer to do more in-depth mock interview skills, one-on-one, you know, again, really honing the resume and that sort of thing.
And your volunteers also should be a good resource
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's incredible. As Tami was saying, that she wanted to use some of her professional experience to benefit Bottomless Closet. That's really the wealth of knowledge and information that is among our volunteer base is really incredible. There are many women who have retired but have been in HR, so they have really great skills to help women to say, this is what you're going to, come up against in an interview. Here are the questions that they're going to ask. And do almost, we do an infomercial, creating an infomercial with each client so that they can say, okay, sort of the elevator speech, if you will, of if you have, 5 minutes to explain who you are and what your goals are professionally.
You mean do you tape it so they see a film?
We don't do a tape, but it's again a one-on-one working with a volunteer to say, here are not only the hard skills that I have listed on my resume, but the soft skills that maybe you don't consider. And again, because many of the women come to us and their self-esteem may not be the greatest, it really does take some coaching on the volunteers' part to draw out from the women what their skills are.
Do you interview the people who want to be volunteers?
Yes, yeah. We have a volunteer training orientation on a regular basis, and people can come in and learn about Bottomless Closet and all the different opportunities.
And then do you make alliances or connections with other groups that take care of other needs?
Absolutely, yeah. Really, also, one thing that we do is reach out to corporations for partnerships. We have another program that we have is a career day where our clients go into corporations and learn about different industries that they may not have considered for employment.
Did you go to a career day?
Yes, I have. It's wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, and what made the most impression?
Well, ladies that's really established, and it lets us know that we too can one day, be there.
So how do you feel are your volunteers mostly, do you have people of color who are volunteers?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you match people, or it's just a random thing?
No, it's just every weekday we have a group of volunteers, and it's amazing the commitment of the volunteers. They'll come every Monday, and they're there every Monday, and so then
they form their own group of friends.
Exactly.
And do you feel a difference? I mean, do you feel equal to the volunteers?
I have a mentor, and she's very,
She's your friend?
Yeah. She tells me, she stay on me. Ask me if I say I'm going to do something, she always follow up, and we communicate with each other. And she gives me suggestions, and she's very good. And the volunteers are very warm, open. If they see something or they could see a way of helping you, and they don't even have to know you, they'll say, oh, yeah, I think you should do that. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it's no little you.
Right.
It's not that kind of.
And have you discovered that volunteers have problems also?
Yes, this is a world. We all have problems. It's how we carry it.
Yeah.
I've learned that it's not what the problem is, how we react to the problem.
So Tami, you came from a finance background.
Yes.
When you met all of these women, did it open new vistas for you?
In terms of understanding that there's definitely a range of knowledge. I certainly, over the 7 years, have learned a thing or two, or haven't been able to answer a question, will say, I'll get back to you in research. So I learned as well along the way.
But I was struck when Deloris said that she works in a place as a second job where she sees people who are less fortunate and thinks, realizes how lucky she is.
Yes,
right?
It gives you gratitude.
I've done a lot of work of women in prison and different things, and I always come away thinking, don't ever complain, because your life is so easy compared to the complexities, right?
I think it's important to note also that the range of clients that we see, the demographics are very widespread. We have there are probably about 20% of the women that we see actually have a college degree or higher. So it's important to note that it's not necessarily one specific. It's not one specific demographic. Our clients are. 80% of them are single, 70% of them are mothers. So it really does, there's a wide range in terms of ethnicity, in terms of educational background. And it really, I think that it's important to note that Bottomless Closet is really there in case the bottom drops out on anybody. You know, that it really isn't. There are many stories, anecdotes of women who have come in that have, there was one woman who had gone to an Ivy League college, had a really successful job, and found out that she had breast cancer, and her medical bills, you know, piled up, and she lost her job and became homeless. I mean, and just like that, with a couple of different, you know, different things happening to her, she found herself on public assistance. So it really, again, it's a wide range of women that walk through the door. And
we're almost at the end of our program, unbelievably, but we haven't talked about donating clothes. We've talked about volunteering. Right, sure. So what do we need?
Yeah, well, Bottomless Closet gives away about 15,000 garments a year to women. So it's a considerable amount. So we really rely on individuals to give women's business appropriate attire to donate. And we're always looking for accessories.
And it can be slightly used, but in very good condition.
Absolutely.
We don't want to pawn nothing that isn't, that you wouldn't wear.
Right. Our joke is that if you wouldn't put it on yourself, or you wouldn't give it to a friend, then don't bring it in.
And you would like things from shoes.
Accessories are always
and
needed.
Jewelry and scarves and bags and jackets and shirts and
everything. 12 and larger is especially
plus
welcome.
Sizes.
Why don't they? Why not? That's my scale. It's hard enough to shop just naturally, so your place must be really good if you're emphasizing larger sizes.
Yeah, we do. Well, it's really important that when women come in that they feel, regardless of their size, that they have options and that they can have that experience.
Yes. So give us a big smile, Deloris, because we're at the end of the program. And this is the picture of success, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, and thank you very much, because it's been very inspiring and wonderfully useful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there are any people you'd like to hear and topics you'd like us to explore, please let me know. You can write to me at CUNY TV, 365 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, 10016, or you can go to the website at cuny.tv and click on Contact Us. I look forward to hearing from you.